Ooh, boy, y'all ready for this? Guys, welcome back to another episode of New Stuff TV. I'm your host, Antoine. Let's get ready to rumble, Richardson, because today we're having a battle. It is a versus between the Sony Bravia 9 and the Sony Bravia 8 Mark II. So who's the champ? Who's the king? Well, the Sony Bravia 9 is the champ, okay? That's the champ. Sony Bravia 8 Mark II, that's the king. Okay, it's spelled K-A-N-G, Kang. He's the king around here, okay? And that's why, okay, I'm pumped for two reasons. Like, I own both of these TVs. It has been an absolute pleasure owning both of the TVs. The experience has just been wonderful all around, okay? But the reason why I'm so hyped today is because I did something. I did a thing, bro. I was left unsupervised with our debit card. And I told my wife we was doing this and she was all for it anyway, but I finally did it, man. Went to the Sony website and I purchased the Sony ES5000 11 channel receiver. I'm gonna configure mine in a 7.4.4 configuration. All right, that's a whole nother conversation right there, how I'm getting 7.4.4 out of that. But hey, I'm just pumped about it because I'm okay, let's get back to the reason why we're here. We can talk about that another time if you want. I'm so excited. By the time y'all see this video, the FedEx driver, he should be showing up with my receiver. And I'm just freaking pumped, man. I'm gonna hook it up to the Bravia 9. Okay, all right, let's just chill. Okay, let's do a little housekeeping on this video though. So I got both of these TVs here, right? And I set them up on that shelf back there. The Bravia 8 is gonna be on the left, Bravia 9 is gonna be on the right. I bumped both of their brightness levels down because they're really bright TVs. Gotta see both of these TVs in real life. I do the best I can with camera tricks we gotta do to make them both look great because it hardly ever translates. The Sony Bravia 9 is a 75-inch TV. It comes in different size variants, whereas the Sony Bravia 8 Mark II comes in I think it's a 55 and a 65. I have the 65-inch variant. So I kind of raised the 65-inch TV to the highest level and I have the 75-inch to the lowest level just to kind of balance them out a little bit. So there's my housekeeping. Now we need to jump into this competition. Let's start with the build and design. Sony gave both of these TVs their most premium treatment in regards to build quality and aesthetics. Both of these TVs look like money. The Bravia 9 is a little bit thicker with a metal bezel, but the Bravia 8 Mark II is a slimmer and lighter overall TV because it's an OLED, but it still has that thin metal bezel. Now the most triggering difference that I notice off the top is the backlit remote that you get with the Bravia 9 versus the regular remote that you get with the Bravia 8 Mark II. You kind of hurt my feelings there, Sony, man. Like that one kind of cut deep. With a Sony Bravia 9, you get the backlit remote, rechargeable via USB-C. The other remote it's just a Sony remote, which is fine, but damn. Now, as far as setting these things up, the Bravia 9 is gonna give you 4-way height and width adjustable feet, where the Bravia 8 is only gonna give you 2-way height adjustable feet. Now, before we move into that beautiful picture quality, let's go ahead and talk about the sound real quick, because some of you might be planning on using this thing without a sound bar. The Bravia 9 has frame tweeters and upfire and beam tweeters that is going to give off that Dolby Atmos experience. With the Bravia 8 Mark II, the screen is the speaker. It sounds fantastic and it definitely makes dialogue seem to come directly from the actor's mouths, but the better overall sound experience is going to go to the Bravia 9. And they both have this feature that Sony calls Voice Zoom 3, which actually brings out the dialogue so you can hear it a lot better. Oh yeah, now it's time to get into that picture quality. So seriously, the picture quality and experience can sometimes be damn near identical to the average person. And transitioning upstairs and downstairs back and forth to either TV has been pretty much seamless to the point where I forget I'm watching an absolutely different TV. The crazy thing is that Sony built the Bravia 9 to close the gap from mini LED to OLED in contrast and black levels. Then a year later, they built the Bravia 8 Mark II to close the gap between OLED and mini LED in the brightness category. Now, as a result of this, the customer is kind of stuck in a little bit of a predicament. You're either stuck buying an amazing TV or you gotta settle for an amazing TV. But the Bravia 8 Mark II still wins by just a bit in terms of contrast and black levels, giving the overall picture a little bit more pop. But the Bravia 9 is still gonna win in overall brightness. Bruh, you could probably sit this thing in the middle of your driveway on a sunny Sunday afternoon and watch a football game if you wanted to. Now, I watched Sinners on both TVs, which is a very difficult film for a lot of TVs to handle properly. But the Bravia 8 Mark II and the Bravia 9 do it the best out of all of them so far. That's also where that extra pop of color and contrast come in clutch on that Bravia 8 Mark II. Man, the scenes in the fields when they're riding in the car, you see the sky, you see the fields, you see the characters, everything is just gorgeous. Now, as far as the settings, I ran them both in Dolby Vision Dark with a few extra tweaks on the Bravia 9 so I could closer match the black levels and contrast of the Bravia 8 Mark II. And I got super close, but I just could not get those colors to match up though. I also noticed that the Amazon and Netflix calibrated modes look a lot different on each TV. The Bravia 8 Mark II has a deeper, more rich color profile, making the Bravia 9 almost look a little flat sometimes when you see them side by side. But remember, I always thought the Bravia 9 looked amazing in these modes when it was sitting there by itself, and I still stand by that. Man, these TVs are just too damn close in experience. But I get it. These are two completely different TV technologies. And I'm sorry, man, you probably came here, looking for me to tell you which one to buy or which one is gonna be better. Hell, if I was an OLED purist, I could easily tell you that the Bravia 8 Mark II is the better TV and the best TV to buy, but I just can't, man. We're talking about two current flagships from the same company here. And let's not forget that the Bravia 9 stood up to a few OLEDs last year and had them running scared. This one's probably just gonna come down to splitting hairs over a few features or elements that you can or cannot live without or just prioritize. Let's start with the Bravia 9. You're gonna get higher brightness if you need it, better sound if you're not gonna be using separate audio, and more available sizes ranging from 65, 75, all the way up to 85 inches. And it's gonna come in at a slightly lower price. Now, as for the Bravia 8 Mark II, you're gonna get more contrast, deeper blacks, and in my opinion, a better overall picture. Both of them are gonna give you a near perfect out-of-the-box experience. Netflix and Amazon calibrated mode, Sony's XR processor, Sony's upscaling, and in my experience, the best PS5 experience you're gonna get out of a TV. And let's not forget the free credits and access you get to Sony Pictures Core. But at the end of the day, you really can't go wrong choosing either one of these. But if you need that brightness and a bigger size and a bit more flexibility, the Bravia 9 is gonna be the champ. And if you need that extra contrast and deeper blacks and that bump and cinematic wow factor, the Bravia 8 Mark II is definitely gonna be the king. Now y'all keep being good to each other, and I'll see you when I see you.